Isolation is one of the most powerful and damaging control tactics in abusive relationships. But what if I told you that isolation isn't just about being alone or physically trapped, but you could have a job, go out, and be surrounded by people, yet still be completely under an abuser's control and isolated? In this video, we'll break down 5 common misconceptions about isolation. Understanding these warning signs can help you recognize when you or someone you care about is being cut off from outside help before it's too late. Because not knowing what isolation really looks like keeps victims trapped without them even realizing they're being controlled. The first misconception is that isolation means locking you up in a room or house. However, many abusers isolate victims through constant monitoring of their movements and activities, making it difficult or impossible to see other people without the abuser knowing about it. This is often done under the pretense that the abuser is concerned for the victim's safety and needs to know where they are at all times. The abuser often overreacts to such an extent that victims themselves isolate from people to try to keep the peace. This can be due to the abuser bursting out in a rage, making threats of harm or leaving, or making allegations of infidelity, or the victim not loving the abuser. However, abusers may also break down sobbing, locking themselves in a room, and giving the victim the silent treatment whenever the victim does something the abuser does not like. It could be as trivial as arriving 5 minutes late from work or returning from the store, even during a storm. Abusers may monitor the distance meter of the victim's car or time trips the victim makes to save a local store. The abuser may also install cameras around the house or in the victim's car so that the abuser can monitor every movement the victim makes. Many will activate alerts to their phone whenever the victim spends money, as well as have real-time tracking of the victim's phone or car. Abusers may also refuse that the victim drive themselves or allow them to go anywhere alone. A common tactic is to constantly call the victim to see if they are okay, or just to ask a silly question, allowing the abuser an excuse to check up on the victim. The abuser may demand the victim send a picture of where they are and who they are with, or activate their live video so that the abuser can check up on the victim. Just the thought of being constantly surveyed, or that the abuser can call at any moment and demand to see where the victim is, can cause victims to self-isolate. Some abusers may even send friends or family to follow the victim, where they will randomly bump into the victim at stores, making the victim afraid that if they visit a place not approved by their partner, that someone will see them and report it to their partner. The next misconception that many people have is that if they can see friends or family, they are not isolated. But isolation is not about keeping you from making contact with others, but about making sure you only come into contact with people who support the narrative of the abuser. Even if you go to events with family or friends, you may find out that these people all either support the abuser or enable their actions by dismissing your concerns or placing the blame on you for causing the abusive behaviors. You may also find that anything you say about the abuser always makes its way to the abuser. Often, all the friends you have or the family you visit are those of the abuser, as all your family or friends have been pushed away. Whenever you voice any concerns about the abuser's actions, you may be shamed for going against your partner and not supporting them in their struggles. That you are overreacting, or that you should be less selfish and think more about what your partner has done for you. They may chastise you for not working harder to make the relationship work, and that you are the only one who has an issue with your partner or their behaviors. Many will say that your partner doesn't do it to them, or that they have never seen your partner do what you claim they do to you, so it must be your fault. There is a difference between being single and being alone. If no one believes or listens to you, you are isolated from help and support. Abusers also often make the victims afraid or ashamed to talk about the abuse they experience. If anyone addresses the abuser about any of their behaviors, The abuser later punishes the victim so severely that the victim will never speak out again. The next common misconception is that if you have access to a phone, internet, or TV, you're not isolated. But isolation is not about stopping all contact or access to information, but controlling the narrative. As long as the people you speak to or the information you are exposed to supports the abuser's narrative, they are okay with it. The abuser may either control who you can call or the websites you can visit, or monitor your call and internet activity. They may also act if you are free, but you have to use their phone to make calls or share a computer with them, making you afraid that they may find out if you call someone or research something they may not approve of. They may also put you through what feels like an interrogation each time you use your phone or go online, that you feel it's not worth it, effectively cutting you off from the outside world and support. A common tactic abusers use is to in the beginning stage a massive rage outburst over nothing, so that you are so afraid of what they will do if they actually find you contacting people or visiting websites they do not approve of, that you never even dare to do so. When you don't know how someone will react, your mind often creates the darkest and most frightening thoughts, which many abusers rely on to keep control over you. The fourth common misconception is that if an abuser isolates you, they do not allow you to work or study. But just because you may have the opportunity to interact with others at work or campus does not mean you have the energy or mental power to do so. Many abusers cause immense drama where there may not be a day when you do not argue or they are not upset with you about something. Your mind may be so focused on figuring out what next may upset your partner or why they flew into a rage, but you don't have the mental energy to make friends or even talk to others. Abusers also often break victims so down that they become ashamed of who they are, even if they are massively successful, as well as making victims believe all the problems in the relationship is the victim's fault. This may cause victims to feel so ashamed of themselves or for staying in an abusive relationship that they pull away from interacting with other people. And if your mind is so focused on what will upset the abuser next, or when you stress about what mood they will be in when you get home, you have little energy to make friends. You may also be so afraid of the abuser going into a rage if you want to go out or spend time with others that you rather just keep to yourself at work or in public. The last common misconception is that isolation is obvious, like being forbidden from seeing others or going out, your phone taken from you, and so on. But many abusers isolate you covertly. They make you feel wrong for trying to spend time with others, as if you don't love the abuser if you want to be with your family or friends, or want to go shopping alone. They make you feel as if you have to constantly prove your love for them. Slowly, you spend less and less time with others until you only spend time with the abuser without feeling like you are being isolated. Abusers may also break down your trust in your family or friends, claiming these people don't like the abuser and that they are envious and do not want you to be happy. Any issues your family or friends bring up about the abuser will use as proof that these people have it in for them and then make you choose between the abuser and your family or friends. Another cruel way abusers covertly isolate you is by smearing your name. The abuser will tell lies, such as that you have an alcohol problem, use drugs, have a mental problem, and even that you abuse your children or your partner. Without you understanding why, people will just start to drift out of your life. They stop inviting you to events or parties and start to make excuses for why they cannot attend events you invite them to. It may feel as if you just naturally drifted apart from your family or friends, when in fact it is them avoiding you due to the lies the abuser tells about you. A very common tactic is for the abuser to create an argument just before you are to leave or on the way to an event so that they have an excuse not to go or turn the car around. Others will create drama at the event or suddenly become ill so you have to leave. Abusers may secretly sabotage your car so you miss an invitation, or they will hide or accidentally destroy something you need, such as concert tickets, or they just hide your purse or car keys until it's too late for you to go out, and then suddenly find the items. Abusers may also block contact to you, such as answer calls from others and then saying you are not available or that you don't want to talk to anyone. They may delete voicemail, email, or post sent to you. And in some cases, they may even threaten your family and friends with harm if they try to contact you. Of course, the abuser may act innocent and play dumb when you question them, which is a very effective tactic to manipulate you. See this video to learn more about this insidious tactic. Thank you for watching.